In Kilifi, they say Sindadze, meaning good afternoon, and good afternoon to you. We are coming live from Malindi, and I'm hereby joined by residents following His Excellency's lineup of the cabinet yesterday. He mentioned, I mentioned that Aisha Juma is the new CS of Public Affairs, Gender and Affirmative Action, and I'm hereby joined by residents of Kilifi here in Malindi just to tell us how they feel and their reaction. Kaka, karibu, unaitwa nani na uniambie mmepokea vipi taarifa hizi za Mama Aisha Juma kuwa waziri?
Naitwa Daniel Chiriba almaarufu Bonyeza. Mimi nimegombea kiti cha ubunge wa Malindi kwa tiketi ya UDA. Na leo kama unavyoona furaha imetanda kabisa hapa ndani ya Malindi, Kilifi kwa jumla na hata Pwani kufuatia maamuzi ya rais wetu mpendwa William Samoei Ruto kwamba amejizatiti kutoka mwanzo kutimiza ahadi zake zote. Kwanza furaha nyingi sana kwa ile poti tayari kurudi hapa Pwani, na pia tukifuatia matangazo ya jana sisi tulifurahi sana kwamba hapa ndani ya Pwani tuko na bendera mbili, na hapa ndani ya Kilifi tukiwa na mama mpendwa Aisha Juma Karisa akiwa waziri tena wa jinsia ya kike. Ni jambo ambalo limetufurahisha sana sisi kama wakazi wa Malindi, wa Kilifi kwa jumla na Pwani nzima. Na katika kumpa kongole rais, ningesema kwamba furaha hizi zimejaa kwamba na sisi natupatia imani kwamba mtu kama mimi ambaye niligombea kikamilifu kiti hiki cha ubunge na kupata kura nyingi hapa, hata kama sikutangazwa mshindi, kura zile zimeweza kujenga serikali na imani.
Naam, shukrani sana. Tupate mama hapa pia naye atueleze tu kwa majina anaitwa nani na labda matarajio yenu ni gani, ikichukuliwa kwamba kwa sasa anakuwa anasimamia jinsia ya kike. Kilifi imekuwa ikiongoza kwa visa vya wasichana wadogo kupata mimba. Mnatarajia nini sasa ashakuwa waziri katika jinsia? Nitakushikia mic. Tazama kamera.
Kwa majina yangu ninaitwa Janet Kihiko. Mimi nilikuwa ni coordinator wa UDA wa hapa Malindi, na sisi kama wakereketo wa UDA tuna furaha sana. Kwanza tunarudishia rais wetu shukrani kwa kuteua mama yetu Aisha Juma kuwa waziri wa kike ambaye anasimamia jenda. Kwa hivyo tuna imani sana Kilifi County venye mimba zimekuwa nyingi sana za mapema. Watoto wetu wa kike hawasomi kwa sababu ya mimba za mapema. Tuna imani kwa sasa hivi yenye zimepungua zitaisha kabisa. Tunakuomba waziri, saa hii wewe nenda ufanye kazi Kenya nzima, haswa Kilifi, mimba za mapema ziishe.
Naam, asante sana. Na kuna mama hapa pia, nieleze labda matumaini yenu ni gani kwa sasa ambapo kwa sasa ameweza kuchaguliwa kama waziri. Mama, mna lipi la kusema?
Asante sana. Mimi naitwa Rehema Ali, mkazi wa Malindi, na sisi tumepokea hizi habari yani kwa furaha sana. Tokea jana yani tuna vifijo na nderemo, hata leo tumefanya sherehe kubwa sana hapa Malindi kwa sababu ya mtoto wetu wa kike wa Kigiriama Bi Aisha Juma analeta bendera. Hongera sana William Samoei Ruto. Lakini kile kitu ambacho nataka kukwambia Mheshimiwa Ruto ni kitu kimoja. Sisi hapa tuna mbunge wetu ambaye alifight na wewe sana na sisi sote kwa jumla na kutoa kura nyingi sana. Tungeomba yani sisi umwangalie yeye kwa jicho la huruma pamoja na sisi tulioko mashinani.
Naam, shukrani sana. Naam, kwa sababu ya muda tutabidi kumalizia hapo. And Bentro, it is indeed they are happy on what is happening or after being Aisha Juma being said to be the CS of Gender, Public Affairs and Affirmative Action. Remember, she has risen from different levels. First of all, she was the councillor of Takaungu, the chairperson of Kilifi Town Council, and she later became the first woman rep in the devolved system in 2013. She later rose to be the first MP in Malindi, and here she is the first woman to be the CS in from a coast region. And that's all we have from Kilifi. Back to you, Bentro.
Thank you so much, Mike, and now you can go back to the celebrations. Thank you so much for that insight there. Just sampling some of the responses from the residents of Malindi, quite elated that Aisha Juma has become a CS, just waiting for the nod by Parliament. Away from that, from Kilifi now to the Lake Basin, where the reliance on Lake Victoria and its basin by an estimated population of over 45 million people has caused wanton destruction of its catchment areas, encroachment and overfishing. But as Achola Simon found out, a group of villagers in Siaya County are changing the narrative by tapping solar energy to power alternative income-generating activities such as poultry hatcheries.
Dala Rieko. Loosely translated to smart home or home of wisdom in the Luo, is right on the shores of Lake Victoria at Rareu village in East Yimbo, Rareda sub-county of Siaya County. A group of enthusiastic environmentalists are confronting degradation of the lake basin on many fronts head-on.
We have climate change deniers, and then we also have people who are ignorant about climate change. There must be a very concerted effort to educate people on climate change so that we change our practices so that we reverse the increase of carbon emission into the atmosphere.
Through embracing clean, renewable energy in solar to run chicken hatcheries, the locals have found an alternative source of income and shifted from fishing to poultry farming.
So we decided to capitalize on this, that, okay, now we bring farmers, we educate them, and then we innovate a solar hatchery. So instead of the bird sitting on the egg for 21 days, we hatch it here with solar for 21 days.
Farmers hatch the chicks at an affordable rate of 20 shillings each and can purchase them at 40 shillings each.
Na capacity ya machine 150, hata kama umeleta mbili, hata kama umeleta tatu, umeweka tu kwa machine. Ukishaweka kwa machine, umefanya turning. Hiyo turning umefanya 3 times in a day. Ukishamaliza kufanya turning, kama wameshafika kitu kama 17 days, wametoa alama yako, wameweka kwa mashini nyingine. Tuko na mashini nyingi, sio hizi peke yake, zingine nilikuwa huko.
With the solar powered hatcheries, the group hatches at least 500 chicks every day for various farmers in the village.
Unataka kutoa kama unataka mayai zako unatoa poa, ukileta mayai, kama kuku umeanza kutaga mayai, umeweka kitu kama 1 week, kama ni mbaya ni 14 days. Kama unataka kutoka successfully, umeweka tu kwa kitu kama 1 week hivi 7 days. Alafu ukileta kwa 7 days imeweka kwa machine imetoka successfully.
The group also uses the solar panels to pump water into farms to aid agriculture. But the group leader says the efforts must transcend alternative source of income to real conservation efforts of Lake Victoria Basin.
I've realized one particular mistake. Around the lake region, there are very few gazetted areas for planting trees. And we have so many hills that are individually owned. I think this number of hills, the ownership should be revoked, and then they should be made public lands so that they should be gazetted for planting of trees. And again, look at the vastness of the source. We know very well that bamboo is very good. It is a forest in itself. We need to have a policy where we should have the bamboo belt around Lake Victoria, and this can protect both the life of Lake Victoria. And bamboo is a product. We have edible bamboo, and we have so many products that come from bamboo. This can also create another alternative source of income and food.
He also wants government of counties bordering the lake to prioritize its conservation in order to allocate funds for such activities.
I'm appealing to all the county governments to make sure that they have policies that are related to climate change, policies that are related to conservation of Lake Victoria. I would really request the political class, the county governments, to put in place the measures that protect Lake Victoria directly. And they should actually put a fund for conservation of Lake Victoria. Yes.
The pleasant evening breeze that hits each and every home in the rural village of Siaya County is a constant reminder of the efforts the locals need to put in place to ensure that they safeguard this precious resource that not only serves this village but the entire community in the basin.
Thanks, Achola, for that comprehensive report. Elsewhere, a group of creative talents has embarked on leveraging their talents to create awareness on environmental degradation, its impact, and preventive measures. And as Wycliffe Okech reports, the talents through the Sarakasi Trust are going around the country not only to create awareness through entertainment, but also to inculcate self-consciousness among the Kenyans in tackling climate change.
Climate change is among the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. SDG goal number 13 requires nations and their nationals to take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. It is for this reason that a group of artists has decided to leverage their talents to create awareness on a range of topical issues, among them climate change.
Kuna issues mingi sana za environment. Wase wanatupa magarbage kila mahali. Kuna hiyo discipline imepotea. Miti zinakatwa left, right and center. Tunatengeneza makaa, unaona, yani kuna vitu mingi sana. Drought inatuchapa places zingine. So tuliona sisi kama watu wa creative, how best can we talk to people? Of course, it's through movement.
Dubbed Mother Nature, the project by Sarakasi Trust aims at inculcating self-consciousness on matters environmental conservation with the objective to prevent further degradation.
I have always had the vision that art and culture can always be used for development and also to tell a story. Now, there's always so many stories to tell, and of course we all know that when we watch movies or when we listen to songs, or even when we look at dance performances like the one tonight, and we encourage our choreographers and our artists to tell that story. And we've told many stories in the past, and now of course climate change and our environment, our direct environment and the greater environment like around us, of course we all know that there's a huge problem there, and we just try in our own simple way to give it a creative explanation or input so that people actually start thinking about what does the environment mean for us, what does climate change mean for us.
Ikiwa tunaendelea kuwa na mazingira baya, hatuwezi kuwa na maendeleo mzuri katika kaunti zetu.
Through entertainment pieces such as dance and related circus performances, the creatives hope to instill a sense of reason among their audiences. For Lunchtime News from Kisumu County, I am Wycliffe Okech.
And still on matters touching on climate, the United Kingdom has promised to give financial support towards the drought intervention measures in the country. UK envoy to Kenya, Jane Marriott, who was in Mandera County to assess the impact of drought situation, said her country has already given Kenya 230 million shillings geared towards fighting drought and famine.
Speaking in Elwak, Mandera County, during her second official visit in the area, the envoy promises more financial support to address drought in the country.
So the UK has given 1.5 million pounds. Sorry, I don't off the top of my head what that is in shillings. It's for Kenya. We've concentrated our financial support to Somalia, but we're also supported and helped set up the Hunger Safety Net programme, for which we give money for the most vulnerable and needy. So,
international partners, the UN together, we've put more than 20 billion Kenya shillings into food and cash distribution, water, health, livelihoods, but it isn't enough.
On his part, Mandera Governor Mohamed Halif appreciated the UK government's effort to help in addressing the drought issue. The governor further called on the NGOs in Mandera to coordinate both with his administration and the national government so as to have a meaningful impact on the current situation.
My appeal is to the international community, the well-wishers, the national government to actually scale up the intervention, and I call upon the NGOs, non-governmental organizations working in Mandera County to coordinate with us as the national government and the county government so that we have a meaningful impact on the situation we are handling.
The UK envoy at the same time said the reopening of the Kenya-Somalia border will lead to an increase in trade as well as humanitarian supplies to Somalia.
Tumeongea juu ya hii trade, biashara yetu na Somalia, biashara yetu na Ethiopia inaendelea tu hata kama mipaka imefungwa. Lakini tuko kwa njia ya kufungua hizi mipaka zote ili muweze kufanya biashara ile sambamba.
The government closed the Kenya-Somalia border in 2013 following constant attacks from Al-Shabaab militants.
And to environmental conservation now, where a group of school-going children in the counties of Machakos and Makueni have embarked on a tree planting mission to help save the planet from the ravaging effects of climate change. The project, which started in Mitamboni in Machakos County and Miao in Makueni County, would see different schools plant 100 seedlings in their school compounds to preserve Mother Nature.
To make the project a success, each child will be tasked with the responsibility of nurturing his or her tree. Speaking during the exercise, Miao Sub-County Chief said Lower Eastern has been among the regions most struck by drought, and the trees will play a critical role for future prosperity.
Tungepata mtu angeweza kutusaidia kwa chakula tungefurahi sana. Lakini pia kwa sababu kupewa chakula pia itakuwa sustainable. Hii kupanda miti inamaanisha tunatengeneza environment yetu. Na kama tutatengeneza environment yetu inamaanisha tutapata mvua pengine ya kutosha. Inaweza sukuma tupate chakula ambayo itakuwa sustainable.
Musao said in their entire life they have been trekking for more than 2 kilometers in search of water, sometimes using donkeys to help them carry the important commodity which has its fair share of challenges.
Kuendea maji huko kwetu kutoka hapa kwetu nyumbani ni kama kilomita 1.5. Unatumia masaa 2 ama 3, na kwa sababu ya hii kiangazi iko naenda unakuta mapunda wengi unakaa hapo hata masaa 3 ukijaza hiyo yako.
She has appealed to well-wishers to come on board and help construct more boreholes in the region in order to lift the burden from the residents who have suffered for a long time.
Kilio chetu kwa serikali ni labda tujengewe siranga ingine iwe 2 ama tutafutiwe mahali tuchimbiwe boho tupate maji karibu na sisi, ama hiyo maji ichukuliwe kule iko tuletewe hapa kwa soko.
Through the support of Athi River Rotary Club, 3 schools were given 100 seedlings each to plant in their schools, with plans to scout for more drought-stricken areas to plant trees for sustainability. Athi River Rotary Club Chair Gilbert Angala said apart from planting trees to improve livelihoods, they will initiate plans to see every child access education, as they will be launching an ICT center in the rural setup. Beatrice Gatonyenge-Tich, Lunchtime News.
And that story on young heroes planting trees takes us to a fast, quick break. But before we do that, allow me to appreciate Fatma Nasmio, who say good afternoon, guys, watching from Saudi Arabia. Nyumba ya Ufufuo, you say nice. Maura Wamolo, you say you are following. Mose, you say you're tuned in. Maura, you also say you're tuned in. Keep them coming. Thank you so much for keeping it KBC. Let's have that quick break. We'll be right back.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Are you a holder of unclaimed financial assets? Take advantage of the Finance Act 2022 moratorium on penalties and interests. Surrender any unclaimed financial assets in your possession today. Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority. Receive, safeguard, reunite.
Wewe mzee, wewe ndio mshtakiwa kwanza.
Hatugombani mzee.
Nilikuwa napatia discipline mtoto yako na mtoto yangu.
So in short unasema wewe ndio government.
Why do you talk like a hippo?
Hiyo ni swali gani hiyo?
Si aliniita politosa. Na mimi muite hippo. Hiyo si ni inapelekana.
Unaishi na nani?
Madela na Mokoro.
Madela
na Mokoro.
Mokoro ndio nani?
Madela na Mokoro ndio nani? Mimi ni genius kama wewe, si kweli? Syllabus ilikuwa gani?
KBC kuchora.
Kisha sina swali lingine. She's a genius.
Wewe nikuulize, hao watoto walikuwa wako?
Hakuna.
Na pilipili usioila inakuwasia nini?
Hakuna.
Ulikuja kushuhudia nini hapo?
Kushuhudia upiganaji.
Upiganaji, nani alikuwa anapiga mwingine?
Mzee inapiga mtoto.
Welcome back and thanks for trusting us with the news. In other news, 5 children aged between 3 and 8 years are reported to have gone missing without a trace at Apida Estate at the outskirts of Migori town, I beg your pardon. The 5 are reported to have left their homes in the morning to play with their peers within the slum estate and never returned home.
In the first incident, a standard 7 pupil at Migori Primary School left her home on Friday in the afternoon and has not been found to date. The other 4 disappeared on Monday this week as they were out playing within the estate, and efforts to locate them have proved futile.
Toka kasi siku kitu kama saa 3:30 kuja kwa nyumba nikaambiwa mtoto hakuna. Sasa nikaanza kumuuliza mtoto alipotea, yakaanza kunielezea ati mtoto alitoka hapa kitu kama saa 4 kwenda kucheza barabarani, kuna watoto wengine, but sasa hakurudi. Sasa ndio tukaanza kutafuta mpaka wasai tujaona hao watoto.
Parents in the area are now a worried lot and want the relevant agencies to intervene and help them locate their loved ones, as well as avert similar incidences in the future.
Kama kuna mtu yote tu ako na njia yake ya chini kutafuta watoto wa kuchukua, hatutafurahi na yeye. Hatutafurahi kabisa, na tutajua ni nani anafanya kitendo kama hiko. Sababu watoto, unajua kitambo mtoto aanze kugrow kwa uzae mtoto akuje mpaka mwenye alipotea si mtu karibu standard 3. Huyo ni mtoto mkubwa.
Kuna standard 6.
Na standard 6. Ukiona mtoto kama huyo apotee, jamani, ni mbaya.
Hata mimi niko na watoto. Asijui next atakuwa ni nani. Pengine mtoto wangu ndio atakao kesho atapotea. So kitu tunaambia serikali wajaribu watuweke security ya kutosha kwa watoto. Alafu pia kwa hii street yetu tungependa kujua wenye wanaishi hapa ni wakina nani na wanafanya nini hapa.
Tunataka kujua hao watoto ni nani amewachukua na amewachukua kwa sababu gani. Kwa maana na wale watoto wanaweza tumwa sokoni, wanaenda na wanarudi. Imekuwa kwaje wakapotea na tujui wameenda wapi. Hata wazazi wao sasa hivi tunavyoongea wameenda kutafuta watoto wao shuleni na pia wameenda polisi.
Na sio kwari. Lunchtime News.
We hope that the parents get back their kids. In other news, a section of youth and women members of the United Democratic Alliance UDA party in Murang'a, Kirinyaga, Nyeri and Nairobi County has petitioned the party for allegedly leaving them out in nomination positions. The group claim they have been sidelined from the nomination slots, urging the party officials to intervene and raise their concerns.
Youth and women allied to United Democratic Alliance UDA have petitioned the party for claims of shortchanging nomination slots meant for locals. The Irate UDA leaders accused the party's Secretary General for meddling with the process, claiming that locals are not represented in the nomination slots.
Kama hii kaunti ya Kiambu hatujapata kiti ya youth, na tunataka chama ituambie kiti ya youth ilienda wapi. Na vile umeona malalamishi imekuwa hapa mpaka na wamama, tunaona tumeachwa nyuma, tumeachiliwa na tulifanyia chama kazi.
To be having backdoor nominations. Let the nominations come genuinely. As a voter, I have read this petition and these people have really said it all. We have the names of those who are nominated. None of them reside in Kiambu County. There is no way our county can always be a dumping site.
They are now calling on the party officials to intervene and bring a lasting solution.
Mgeomba party leader wetu, deputy party leader wetu, secretary general wa chama na viongozi wetu wote wa Kiambu watulegeshe hizo nomination, na hao watu tunaomba speaker wa Kiambu asiwatabue kama MCAs.
Elsewhere, Mombasa Law Court has set a date for the start of hearing in an election petition challenging the election of former Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho Alai Patrick Mwamvula Mbele as Bamburi Ward MCA. Mombasa Chief Magistrate Martha Mutuku directed the hearing of the petition to begin with a pre-trial conference next week on 3rd October 2022. The petition filed by former Bamburi MCA candidate Etole John Akarang wants Mbele's elections to be declared null and void to pave way for a fresh election in the ward.
So we will be coming back to court on the 3rd of October this year. We hope that the court will take into consideration that the election of the member of County Assembly for Bamburi Ward was marred with malpractices. It was certainly not an issue that befits what you'd call an election exercise that was conducted.
And away from politics to an inspiring story. A deaf couple in Kavengero village in Embu County has gone beyond limitations to prove that disability is not inability. The two, who are beneficiaries of a borehole drilled by the Deaf Empowerment Society of Kenya, has embraced horticulture as a way or as a means to make a living. Take a look.
Ephraim Njue and his wife Mary, who have hearing impairment, have been living in abject poverty for years until the Deaf Empowerment Society of Kenya drilled a borehole at their homestead. The couple says the water scarcity had greatly affected them, as it was not enough for animals and farming.
First of all, we had problems, challenges. The sun was kulikuwa na jua kali sana, hakukuwa na chakula. Tulikuwa tunabeba maji kutoka kwa mto. Tulikuwa maskini sana, and Jacob came akatusaidia kuchimba maji.
The couple says the presence of the borehole in the area was a great relief, as they can now irrigate their crops, earning an average of 1,000 shillings a day from horticulture.
Nimefurahia sana, tuko na maji, watu wanakuja, tunauza shilingi 5, shilingi 10, tunauza tomato, vitunguu, mboga. Nimefurahia sana. So tunashukuru sana sababu ya hii maji imetusaidia. So you can see now the water has got not only one benefit but many benefits, improving access to water, improving access to health and also food.
Chief Executive Officer Jacob Bireri noted that the borehole had transformed the Kavengero community, adding that this was the pilot project as they plan to drill more boreholes within semi-arid Mbeere North and South constituencies in a bid to uplift the lives of people with disabilities in Embu County.
The water is open to the member of the public, but especially the persons with disabilities are the one benefiting more. When I came up with this water, we created awareness to show that at least people with disability can do something.
Trevor Ngendo for Lunchtime News.
Let's now make sense of business. Tourism players in 14 counties within Western Kenya have opted to form an association to leverage on tourist attractions in the region. Lake Victoria Tourism Association Chair Naomi Karani says the move will position the region as a leading global tourism destination.
Tourism is a major foreign exchange earner for Kenya. Tourism stakeholders in the Western Kenya have initiated strategies to market the region owing to its rich culture and tourism attraction sites. They are working with the county governments in Western Kenya to boost capacity building and funds to support the initiative.
We have heritage homes, currently about 20, that can actually be rehabilitated and attract even both local and domestic tourism.
The association, spearheaded by county government's hoteliers, are keen on capitalizing on the fast-growing domestic tourism to open up the region to the world.
The way forward is to change the mindset of the local person so that they start to think as a tourist themselves. What does it mean to be a tourist? What do they expect?
Meanwhile, the Policyholders Compensation Fund is assuring affected claimants that they will receive compensation from insurance companies put under statutory management. The Policyholders Compensation Fund says those affected must simply file their claims.
Our mandate is to compensate claimants and policyholders for those insurers who have gone under or have gone under statutory management.
Tunawafunza kuhusu mambo ya bima, the Insurance Act, ni yapi ambayo sisi kama halmashauri ya kudhibiti makazi yetu ni gani.
They note that an insurance sensitization program with the Insurance Regulatory Authority is already underway to different stakeholders in the insurance sector. Hibak Said for Lunchtime News.
Moving on, stakeholders within the agro-pastoral sectors have designed strategies aimed at promoting sustainable peace and security in Africa due to conflicts between farmers and pastoralists. The groups are often in conflict over control of land and water resources due to increased drought frequency exacerbated by climate change.
Pastoralism is globally recognized as the backbone of the economy in the vast arid and semi-arid rangeland. Despite its enormous economic contribution, the system is facing a myriad of challenges, among them land use and land tenure changes, worsening climate change, resulting in diminished grazing land. Accompanying such changes is the conversion of traditional grazing lands into other uses such as settlements. Pasture and water scarcity continue to be a key driving force for most intercommunal conflicts. Herders have now employed coping strategies that include the selection of livestock for robust traits, keeping large and mixed herds, maintaining flexible stock sizes, livelihood diversification, and maintenance of dry season grazing. Unfortunately, most of these mechanisms have been rendered ineffective given the increased environmental variability and pressure on the pastoral production system.
Environment we are in services a number of pastoralists, especially those from Mandera, from Kajiado. They normally come to graze here when climate has changed from their place, and then you will get that it's completely dry.
Stakeholders have now called for action towards mitigating climate change and its effects by providing support to the pastoralists and farming communities. Furthermore, they have sought the youth in spearheading conflict prevention initiatives aimed at promoting sustainable livelihoods and natural resource management for increased productivity.
Now, the main value we expect out of this is that the youths come to a resolution which avoid conflicts between the farmers, because farmers come in agriculture, and again between the place where the animals can feed on.
The workshop is to bring together youth and discuss different challenges they face in pastoralism so that we can all together get solutions, especially owing to climate change, which has really affected us as a nation and even the world.
Ndosamo Kami for Lunchtime News.
And talking about agriculture, the Nairobi Trade Fair, popularly known as the Agriculture Society of Kenya ASK show, is currently underway, and we are now joined by Regina Manyara, who is at the Jamhuri Park with more. Good afternoon, Regina.
Good afternoon, Troy. Yes, indeed, we are at the International Trade Fair Nairobi phase, so to speak, locally referred to as the show. And these are just the sites. This is how it looks like, being Wednesday the 28th of September, day 3 of this calendar's event. Now, as you can see, children have been given, an off day to participate or rather take part in this event. whose theme is around promoting innovation and technology in agriculture and trade. We have various participants with over 400 exhibitors drawn from the private sector as well as government, just exhibiting to Kenyans who continue trickling in here from morning as early as 6 a.m. to the close of business at 5 p.m. who are interested on matters of value addition, especially in the agriculture value chain. Troy, the new administration, and even the previous administration, had set the ball rolling when it comes to the focus in agriculture, given that the agriculture sector contributes at least 15% to the country's GDP. And at a time when the country is dealing with drought, with over 20 counties that are facing drought, and the majority of Kenyans in those counties are staring at starvation, stakeholders that we have spoken to earlier in the morning alluded to the fact that the need to have innovation and technology within the agriculture value chain as a way of dealing with matters of climate change and ensuring that the country remains food secure. On the far end at the arena, anytime from now, and we have been waiting since morning actually, for the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who is expected to open this event that started on Monday the 26th and is going to run up until Sunday the 2nd of October. So the music you're hearing from the background is the arena. 80s and 90s, you'd know that the show was the place to be, especially over the weekend, because it has a lot of entertainment. And we've managed to also talk to the children off camera, and they're saying they're quite learning so much, especially when it comes to matters of innovation and technology. Security is also very much beefed up with a contingent of Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, as well as the National Police, and also members of the AP Administration Police are also here. And we have various government officials, including the governor himself, that is Johnson Sakaja, who at the background, if you can see that is the Nairobi County stand there. And right behind me, or behind this camera, is we have affordable housing model. This has been one of the issues, key areas of the previous government, talking that, we need to have affordable housing and deal with the perennial shortage. So matters of innovation and technology continuing to take center stage, and you expect to see more people make their way to the Angong Racecourse. Being a Wednesday, the population or the turnout isn't as good or as vibrant as you would expect, with the majority of Kenyans that we have spoken to saying that they have been brought here by either their circles or even their chamas to come and learn something a little bit about, farming and technology. The organizers are optimistic that come Saturday and Sunday, Kenyans are going to be thronging this place. Now back to you, Troy.
Thank you so much, Regina Manyara, there live from Jamhuri Park. She has told us over 400 exhibitors from both the private and the public sectors are expected in the trade fair, and also DP Rigathi Gachagua, who is expected to officially open the trade fair. And with the climate change and the environment challenges that we are facing as a country and as a globe, it's something worth checking out. And you have time till Sunday on the trade fair, or the famous ASK show wraps up. In other news, journalists still have challenges in accessing information, especially from public institutions, despite enactment of an Access to Information Law. Media Council of Kenya Chief Executive Officer David Omoyo is therefore calling for a change of mindset among public officers to entrench the law to aid the fight against corruption and human violation. He was speaking during the commemoration of the International Day on Universal Access to Information. Government spokesperson Colonel retired Cyrus Oguna, however, challenged journalists to safeguard the country's national security even as they seek information on various issues.
Where assemblies, county assemblies are deciding on their own volition to lock out journalists when they're discussing budget matters or allocations and all that. Or when we have the public accounts or the public investment committees calling people to ask questions, and the request is made to exclude journalists and all that. So while we have made certain progress, we are looking at emerging challenges, and unless we work on the hearts and minds of people, we will not get much apart from getting colorful documents and a colorful constitution.
And as government, we've not done nothing other than working towards that. And there are many examples that have been talked about, but let me just give a few. We have been able as a government to create various structures and systems and even infrastructure to facilitate seamless communication of information to our people. Each citizen has been mentioned here. E-learning, something that we can also be proud of as a people. E-business, of course, mobile money transfer has been mentioned here.
And further afield, Ukraine has accused Russia of causing leaks in 2 major gas pipelines to Europe in what it describes as a terrorist attack. Ukrainian presidential advisor says the damage to Nord Stream 1 and 2 was an act of aggression towards the European Union. Here are the details of this and other stories making headlines from across the world.
According to the Ukraine presidential advisor, Russia wanted to cause pre-winter panic and urged the European Union to increase military support to Ukraine. There is no doubt that these were explosions. Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said it was too early to come to conclusions, but that it was hard to imagine the multiple leaks could be a coincidence. Officials said whatever the cause of the damage, it will not immediately affect the supply of gas to Europe, as neither pipeline was operational. The EU has previously accused Russia of using a reduction in gas supplies as an economic weapon in response to European sanctions imposed because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Meanwhile, China's yuan has hit fresh record lows against the surging US dollar. The internationally traded yuan fell to its lowest level since data first became available in 2011. China's domestic currency also reached its weakest point since the 2008 global financial crisis. China's central bank has been trying to slow the yuan slide by making it more expensive to bet against the currency. The yuan's fall has caused weakness in other currencies of developed economies in the region, including the Australian and Singapore dollar, as well as the South Korean won. Finally, some of Wall Street's biggest companies have been fined a total of $1.8 billion by U.S. financial watchdogs after staff discussed deals and trades on their personal devices and apps. The Securities and Exchange Commission says the investigation uncovered pervasive off-channel communications. Barclays, UBS, and Goldman Sachs were among the 16 firms named by regulators. The investigation has shaken Wall Street, with some bankers losing their jobs. It has also forced companies to introduce tough new measures to stamp out unauthorized use of apps.
And back home, Manyata Member of Parliament Gitonga Mukunji has warned road contractors in Embu of dire legal consequences. The legislator claims that some contractors awarded road construction tenders have failed to deliver as mandated.
Speaking in Manyata town during a road inspection tour of Mutunduri Kianjokoma Road and the tamaking of Kairu Irangi roads, Mukunji warned local contractors going against what they were signed.
We are in a new management system of government, so we are not going to take any monkey games if somebody is not doing his good job.
The legislator further added that contractors who deliver shoddy work will be blacklisted and barred from accessing tenders in both levels of government.
Any contractor that is given a job and does not do a good job, we will definitely chase him away, and he will never do any other job, and I will ensure he is chased away fully.
Mukunji called upon contractors to employ corporate social responsibility, which will reap long-term benefits to locals apart from temporary job opportunities, whose tenure ends upon completion of construction of projects.
We have also agreed that they will employ young people from this community so that we get a few people getting jobs because of this project. And they will also do some CSR projects so that they leave a mark, not just take our money and go away.
The roads are 70% complete. Frederick Parsayo reporting for Lunchtime News.
Time to play now. National volleyball team Malkia Strikers registered their maiden victory in the ongoing FIVB World Volleyball Championships in the Netherlands after beating Cameroon 3-0 in their third Group A match. The team, coached by Paul Bitok, won the match in sets of 25-20, 27-25 and 25-19 and boosted their chances of booking a place in the second round of the global competition. The team will face unbeaten Italy tomorrow in their fourth match and then to wind up their Group A matches against Puerto Rico on Saturday. Malkia Strikers lost their first two matches against Netherlands and Belgium but moved up to the fourth position with 3 points on the standings following last night's win against Cameroon. Italy tops the group with 9 points, 3 points ahead of second placed Netherlands, while Belgium is third.
Fault, I'll fix it. We're good. Oh, it just got away with a possible net touch there. Shumba tries to swing from the back. It's a bit of a traffic jam.
Congratulations to our Malkia beauties. From volleyball to soccer, where Alvaro Morata scored a late goal as Spain narrowly beat Portugal 1-0 in the UEFA Nations League to qualify for next year's finals. In Oslo, Fulham striker Alexander Mitrovic was on the score sheet as Serbia beat Norway to clinch promotion to the top tier of the Nations League.
In international friendlies, Barcelona forward Rafinha scored twice as Brazil beat Tunisia 5-1 in Paris.
Vinny Junior for Neymar. Brazil looking for goal number 5, and it might just come here for Pedro.
And finally, Elite Pre-Season Soccer Tournament will enter the semi-final stage tomorrow afternoon with the last 4 teams set to battle it out for the 2 final slots. FKF Premier League side Kariobangi Sharks beat Rainbow FC 1-0 to qualify for the semi-final matches and now join Nairobi City Stars, Kenya Police FC and Bidco United in the last 4. Ulinzi Stars, MCF, Rainbow FC and Sofapaka have been eliminated from the tournament.
If Premier League side Kariobangi Sharks take on Nairobi City Stars, while Kenya Police FC will take on Thika-based Bidco United in the semi-finals. Both matches will be played at the Kasarani Annex on tomorrow afternoon. Of the 4 semi-finalists, only Bidco United lost a game in the group stage.